Do we have our Wayne's mic on?
Hello.
Yes, I guess it is. There we go. All right, so if you guys have never been to a panel at Spookala before, we'll tell you how it kind of works. He and I are going to be hanging out up here, having a little conversation, like we're old friends. I mean, we've known each other for quite a while, maybe 3-4 hours. So we seems longer. Seems longer, you know. Maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. I don't know. But there is an open mic here in the front. We like to make sure you guys get a chance to get your questions answered as early and as often as possible, because we can talk about whatever we want to up here, and you guys can be like, that's not really the thing I wanted to know about. So the mic is there. We'll give you an opportunity to go up and stand in line and ask a question. We do ask you to make sure that you've got one question, and let's try to make sure that we always keep it positive and not try to stump the panelists with something that's going to be controversial, no politics, religion, things of that nature. Let's just have fun with this. Does that sound like a good idea?
As if that was on your mind.
You never know. You never know. That one right there might be on my mind. Right, Nicole? All right, so people know you from a couple of fun things you've done in the past. So let's talk about the one that most people are here to experience, and that is the entry from Jurassic Park.
You know, actually, the first time I ever went to a convention was for Jurassic Park. It was when I was cast in it before the movie even came out. And I got my first piece of advice on conventions from John Delancey from Star Trek, who told me, never personalize. I don't know what he meant, but it's all right.
So Bob, you were cast before the movie even
I believe that Steven saw me in Basic Instinct, saw me sweating profusely, drooling.
Is there a reason why you were sweating profusely and drooling in Basic Instinct? Why don't we remind everybody what that scene was?
No, because I didn't get to see anything. There was a camera right here. It was not what you think. But I think he saw me in that and said, now imagine if that was a dinosaur instead of a shining stone. And there you go.
So with you being cast so early on in that movie, did you feel any kind of slight ownership? All right, I'm the OG, and anybody else that's coming through, I've got to be able to give my stamp of approval.
Are you kidding?
And you know what? You never know what you feel.
Well, no, I had read the book, and I was a big fan of Michael Crichton, and so I knew who Nedry was. Luckily, Nedry died in a way that was gross and belittling, whereas in the book he was like, his head was crunched and he was disemboweled. So I think I like my way better. I don't know.
All right, so again, we do have the mic up here. If you guys have any questions, don't be shy. Feel free to get in the line up, because we want to make sure we get you the information that you want.
Someone is coming to the mic.
Oh, and you know what? This is one of my favorite people that's going to come to the mic. So, all right, we're going to go to you right now. Tell us what your name is.
My name is Amanda, and before I ask the question, I have to do this as a big fun fan. Hello, Tom.
Tom?
Tom!
Oh, Don! Hello, Sally.
Thank you, that made my day. So, of all the projects that you've done, whether it's sitcoms, movies, or anything, what in your mind sticks out as something that you just can't believe that you've gotten a chance to be a part of?
Well, I mean, there's so many things that I was lucky enough. You know, I mean, it's like, the way I talk about it is, I've spent a lot of time on the Queen Mary, and people have been waving at me as if I had something to do with it. You know, I'm just riding some very nice ships. But Third Rock actually was one of the most pleasant experiences I ever had. Everybody was incredibly nice. John Lithgow was a great guy who I still maintain a friendship with, and who sends me Christmas cards that he hand draws and stuff. That was a serendipitous kind of thing. I was doing Seinfeld at the time.
Yeah.
Terry Turner, who was the producer executive producer with his wife of Third Rock, ran into me. We had gone to the University of Georgia together like 30 years earlier. He said, we've been looking for you. We'd like to do a show with you, but we can't now. So would you come on to Third Rock for a couple of years while we work it out? I'm like, yes. And the show didn't work out, but Third Rock did.
No, it was great. Well, thank you for being part of so many of our childhoods and being part of pop culture.
Thank
You're
you.
amazing.
Appreciate it.
All right, next up, what's your name, my man? What is the question you got?
Nobody cares.
You do have a microphone, don't you?
Yeah, you can tell by my phone.
But my question for you is, working with Larry David on Seinfeld, anything fun you can tell us? Or
Not one thing.
maybe professional?
Not a thing. He scared the crap out of me. I don't know. He was so relaxed, yet had so much power. No, he was great. And the thing about Larry is that Larry was meticulous, specific, knew exactly what he wanted. And that's actually a relief, you know? And I think we all wanted to make him laugh because that was the key. So the things about Larry are, after the show was over, I ran into Larry and there was like, come on in the office, say hello, sit down. I'm like, no. I'm still intimidated by him. But I don't think I would be now. I think he's very relaxed now.
All right, thanks a lot. All right, Mr. Man in the fedora. How you doing, man? I dig the headgear. I'm down with it.
Thank you for doing some pages.
All right, so what's your name? What's your question?
Name's Gaines. Today,
We got that for him.
Jurassic Park. This is movie, books and stuff on the story behind making things. What's a memory that always stuck with you in me?
Well, the first time, my first day on the set, we're in Kauai, and they're going to take me up this cane road to Blue Hole, the top of Kauai, a mountain that is supposedly the rainiest spot in the world. It rains like 360 days a year there. And they had rain machines and trucks in case it didn't. And we drove through this mud road, through cane fields, up to this mountain, and I get up there, it's not really a mountain, it's probably a hill, but the gates of Jurassic Park are there, and I see them for the first time, and that's where I meet Steven Spielberg. They drive me up in this bus, and I get out, slogging through mud. He's looking at the gates with a loop. He turns to me, and I say, I've not met him. I said, I hope I'm the one you were looking for. And he says, you're the one. That was the beginnings of Jurassic Park.
Fantastic.
Next up, do me a favor, when you come up here, you can put the mic up just a little bit. There you go. Thank you, Amanda. After you went and messed up the mic for us, now you fixed it. Good job.
Okay, can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's your name, my man? What you got?
I'm Mason. I just want to ask a question. I didn't want to ask a political question, but I guess it's a little bit political. But is Jurassic Park a horror movie?
How is that political?
There's a lot of discourse.
I'll tell you what, it was a horror movie for me. I don't know if it was a horror movie for everybody else.
I personally think it
But,
is.
I mean, just shooting that thing was a horror movie for me. I think it is. And that's why when I'm signing and people say, I loved you since I first saw Jurassic when I was 3. I want to have their parents arrested. What are you kidding me? I thought dinosaurs were cool, I don't want them killing people, but I think that that's okay because kids really want to see something that could eat their parents. So it's okay.
Well, thank you so much.
So I wonder if he was like, was the dinosaur libertarian? That would have been political. That would have been a political comment. Otherwise, we're good. All right, how you doing, my man? What's your name?
My name's Trey. Honor meeting you. Do you think the Barbasol man is cursed in the movie? Because dinosaurs, you guys enjoy it?
No. But then again, I didn't even know the Dilophosaurus was a small dinosaur with throat fans and spat, you know? I was expecting a bigger dinosaur. So it's an even worse death.
You're expecting to be eaten by like this giant Tyrannosaurus, but then you just get eaten by these small little dinosaurs.
Yeah, it could be worse. It could be like a mouse with a cough or something like that. You know?
Well, thank you.
All right, so real quick before we go to the next question. So, our AD interpreter over here, Sarah, had a challenge. Before the panel started, she's like, I want Wayne Knight to rattle off as many dinosaurs as he can, as quick as he can, because she wants to sign them as quick as she can.
Oh, geez, don't worry. I don't have hardly any. I mean, all my dinosaurs are old brontosaurus, like old brontosaurus and stuff like that. I don't have the new names of all the dinosaurs, so I can't rattle through them. My paleontology period ended about 30 years ago. I know it then. I'll just give you Dilophosaurus 5 times. Dilophosaurus, 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 Dilophosaurus.
I think your wrist doctor just thanked you for only naming one. All right, next up with the mic. What's your name? What you got for us, my man?
Hello, Wayne. I'm Jurassic Park. I built quite a few Jurassic Park Jeep replicas, and I feel like Jurassic Park really put Jeep on the map, right? When you think Jurassic Park, you think Jeeps and vice versa. My question is, when we spoke earlier, you mentioned about your relationship with your time with that Jurassic Park Jeep and an iconic scene.
Yes, I still have leg wounds from that because I couldn't drive. I mean, driving a stick to then bounce the door of the park, you know, to bounce the gate and get in, that was miserable for me. We wound up having to do a cowboy switch, which is a stuntman drives the car fast up to the spot. I jump in the car, they shoot me, I jump out, the other guy jumps in. He then hits the door open and he goes. It's like what they used to do in old westerns when they would take the star off the horse and throw another guy on and ride it off. That was what it was like. But because I'm getting in and out of the Jeep, it was all soaking wet and whatever, I used to bang my leg in the Jeep over and over again until it was a big wound. And I was this big fat guy, and I didn't want to go to the doctor because I figured he'd tell me I was going to die. So I just put Band-Aids on it and whatever. So that's my memory of that Jeep. I didn't immediately go out and buy a Jeep. But I could now.
I think you would look great in the Jeep, by the way. I love everything you've ever done. I love you so much.
Thank you so much.
Basically, Megan is the anti-spokesperson for Jeeps. All right, coming up to the mic. What's your name? What you got for Mr. Wayne Knight?
I was wondering, what's the favorite role that you've had, like in all?
What's your favorite role that you've had? All the roles. What's your favorite role and why?
Well, but see, the problem is my favorite role was on Broadway. It wasn't really in the movies. And as far as the movies go, I enjoyed playing parts that weren't over the top. I enjoyed playing people that were just kind of people. And I did a role in this movie To Die For that was directed by Gus Van Sant and had Nicole Kidman, and I played opposite Nicole Kidman. I enjoyed that. I had a period of time where I was just opposite beautiful stars. From Sharon Stone and Nicole Kidman. I thought, this is nice. It's a nice life. And nobody saw it, but it was fun to do. And I met Buck Henry, who wrote it, and then I later appeared on Broadway with him in this play Art, which became my favorite role, working with George Segal and Buck Henry. So that doesn't really play for conventions. I don't know what to tell you.
Thank you.
All right, next up, another man of the nice piece of head winner. What's your name? What you got?
My name is John. I just had a question. Were you allowed to see the bringer of death before the scene, or did they keep it secret?
No. You know, the thing is that when we were shooting the control room was a second story so that they could have a cyclorama with the outside and so on. And it was a garage for raptors. There were like 5 raptors there. just laying there, the puppets, you know, because this was Stan Winston in the days when it wasn't all CGI. Half of it was animatronic and the other half was CGI. So all of these raptors were manipulatable raptors. And the Dilophosaurus I got to see because the Dilophosaurus was the Dilophosaurus with the throat fan, the Dilophosaurus who spit, the Dilophosaurus who moved. Each one was separate. And but the cool thing is that when acting with it, because it was there, you actually had something to act with. So it was fun.
Thank you.
All right, good stuff. Next up, how you doing on that? What's your name? What kind of shoe you have from Mr. Wayne Knight?
Yes, hi, I'm my Magic Mike from Hollywood Toys with a Z, YouTube plug. What I wanted to know is what was the stuff that the Dilophosaurus spit in your face? What was it for real?
Well, there's a guy who lives across the street from me now. His name is Rick Gallant. He worked with Stan Winston's crew. He had an air rifle filled with dyed black KY jelly. They had three different things. There was an oil, a petroleum distillate that they shot me with when I was climbing up the hill. Then when I turned, they shot me with methicil, which is alien goop, which stretches off the body. And then when I turned the camera for my death, he had an air rifle pointing between my eyes. And he told me, if you blink, we'll do it again. So I turned to camera, and there's a guy with a rifle at me, and he shoots me. And I got it in 2 takes.
Oh, not bad.
The first take didn't work. And that's because Spielberg said to me, you know, that was an R screen. We need a PG screen. Freaking out. So that's the story.
Thank you, Mr. Knight.
All right, next up, how you doing? What's your name and what kind of questions you got?
Wayne is how do you feel about knowing that the real Dilophosaurus is about 10 times bigger than the one that they saw in the movie?
See, that's the thing that gets me. You know? It's like, you gotta diminish me even more. Why not just make a thumb-sized dinosaur that kills me, okay? But I didn't want to be disemboweled, so okay.
It's better than the comic.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right, so next up, my name is Charlie, and I have a question. Oh, wait, that's your wife.
Yeah.
So what's your name?
I'm Charlie.
See, I told you. And what was your question?
With you being some of the biggest franchises, what was your favorite?
Of the big franchises?
Like Jurassic Park, Toy Story, or something.
I like things where they bring me back, so I'm not that fond of any of them.
What would you say yours your favorite?
Seinfeld, they kept bringing me back. I like that.
All right, how you doing there? What's your name?
My name is Roy.
Roy, what's your question?
My question is, well, first of all, there are 2 of my favorite movies of all time. One is Jurassic Park, which I like to talk really about, awesome. And another is Toy Story 2. And I don't know if you're aware of this, and I was not aware of this until I watched director's commentary, but there's actually a plot hole at the end where their character has flown to Japan, but the next morning is already shot commercial with his crying.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Your character has flown to Japan at the end of the movie, and then the next morning, when the toys are back in his room, he's already shot a commercial at his store where he's crying. And Pete Doctor said on the commentary, just ignore the plot hole that he somehow got back from Japan and shot a commercial. Did they talk to you about that, or were you aware of that, or was it just like...
No, especially in voiceover, you know very little about what's going on. In fact, when I did Toy Story 2, I was in New York doing a show, and I would come to a recording studio, and we would have a screen where I'm talking to John Lasseter on one strange of doing the voice. Beat, and so, no, I didn't realize. No.
Yeah, thank you.
I feel like I'm running the information he just gave you right now. Alright, how you doing? What's your name?
My name is Aftab Sebastian Imam.
Alright, what's your question for Mr. Whitman?
No, there's no time for the question now.
Yeah.
The name is too long. No, go ahead.
What has to be like has there ever been a Halloween special episode of Seinfeld? Do you remember doing that?
Not only do I not remember it, but the thought that they would do one is like totally shocking. I mean, they would never do a special episode for anything, you know. I mean, but there are some scary. I think that we should probably have done a Halloween episode with animated Pez dispensers. Killer Pez. There you go.
Yeah, if you think about like how much of interest they have, it's almost like that one scare that you get, like, oh, you think it's a demon drooler, but no. It's like a shadow guy that this cartoon episode is like, running around like, something stupid doing that.
Well, Newman is basically the horror character in the show. The door opens and there he is. Oh, pretty scary.
Alright, thanks a lot. Alright, next up, what's your name? What's your question? Yeah, feel free to bring that thing down.
I'm Sarah. I saw that you're from Cartersville, right? I'm from there too, and I just thought.
From Cartersville?
Yeah,
Well, how the hell are things in Bartow County?
they're growing a lot.
Yeah, I know. It's now kind of a bedroom community of Atlanta.
Yeah.
But yes, I grew up in Cartersville. I went to Cartersville High School. And my mother lived there through the rest of her life. And so I still have a warm place in my heart for Cartersville.
Have you been back?
Yeah, I brought my son is now 13. He was about 3 or something when I brought him there, and he didn't really know what was going on. I play. He saves everybody. I think that. Oh, geez, I don't know. I guess it's 40.
Good choice, good choice. Thank you for saying that.
I know I'm not supposed to like the good characters.
Alright, next up, you might really have to move that mic up because, yeah, we don't need to talk to you kneecap.
I have been doing it. So, for well, if no one's done that, technically, a statement, a question first. The statement, I just want to thank you. There you go. Dotson. Nobody cares. That's been like such a important part of my life to like be obnoxious and annoy people whenever they're trying to be discreet and they don't respect it.
I'm so glad that there's someone just annoying people in real life. You know, I mean, I do it professionally. You know, please.
So you gotta look up on me then. And then the second thing is that laugh that you did, and when like the canister of bumper song goes up. I don't know if you know it's become like a big thing, but I was curious like if that was intentional. Like, could you recreate that, or was that like?
Well, what happened was, I laughed, and then Spielberg said, "Laugh some more." No more. You really have. It became this maniacal craze, and then, but that's it. So it was part me and it was part Steven. So I can't take full credit for it.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Alright, so I got a question. So this is from Steph, if you look back here, the Symmetry Creations booth. She's the one that looks just like me. So you can't tell us apart. So she had a question. She said, if Nedry and Newman were in a battle to the death, by any rules that you wanted to have, who would win and why?
Newman.
And why would Newman be the one to win?
Because Newman is pure evil. And Nedry is an amateur.
Yeah, that's really good stuff right there. I honestly did not expect it. I thought it was going to go the other way around because Nedry might be able to harness the power of the dinosaurs and Newman could only harness the power of jelly.
Nedry, but I mean, Nedry's just fueled on sugar and Jolt Cola. He's got that kind of like quick snap kind of muscles. He would go slack in a minute. Whereas Newman could go for hours.
Oh, really? All right, so
He never got the chance, but yeah, well, whatever.
all right, so we got a few things more we're going to talk about. Again, if you have questions that come up that you want to ask, you see how it goes. We're going to get to. Mike, what's your name? What you got?
Hi, my name is Kyle. One of my favorite movies is Rat Race.
Yeah.
Do you have any fun memories of working on that movie with rockets and everything?
It was weird. I had to win over Rowan. Rowan wasn't the JFK conspiracy guy, very big into the assassination theories. And when he saw me in JFK playing a character named Numa, it was like too much for him. So they found a way of incorporating, you know, the reenactment of the shot, which was in the movie JFK, in Seinfeld. So, yes.
That's super. I remember that. I was like 12 years old when that movie came out. I'm fun with that, actually. So I remember watching it.
Yeah, and what you need to do is watch the episode while standing in Dealey Plaza.
All right, so I got a question for you. So, if you could pick one actor that you've worked with on any show, and you could be like, I'm going to pick that person, but I also going to pick the project that we're working on. It could be a buddy cop movie, it could be anything like that. Who would you pick? What would that project be? If you could fantasy book it right here on the stage at Spookala.
Geez, I don't know. I'll tell you who I would want to work with, though. He's a friend of mine, and I've known for years. Is Emma Thompson.
Okay.
I did a film, Dead Again, with her. We started out doing sketch comedy in England. I did this show called Assaulted Nuts with Emma, and then I did that film. And just one of the smartest, best people I could work with, who can do comedy, who can do tragedy, who can do anything. And I would let her pick the project.
Fair enough.
I would do.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. Come on up, come on up.
Hello, Newman.
Hello, stranger.
Hey, I'm Greg. What I want to know is, what did you think about the final episode of Seinfeld? Were you satisfied with the ending?
Nobody was satisfied with it.
Really?
Because why we didn't want it to end, A, and B, you're trying to do a tribute to so many people, it's almost impossible to do. The only way that I think you could do a proper ending is if you're in the middle of an episode and you see the film start burning. And that's just it. You don't get to see the rest. Goodbye, everybody. There's no good way to end the show. And I didn't get to go to Paris, so it pissed me off.
You're tremendous. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks a lot. Coming up with the money. All right, what's your name?
Amanda.
Amanda, what is your question?
So not to dwell on the past, if you could go back in time and take any role that you turned down, which one would you take and why?
Take a good long look at me. What roles do you think I turned down? Well, there was this one. Well, I recently turned down something because I would have to be unclothed. And I thought,
$20 is $20.
no, I'm telling you what. And you want to see something that would show up at Spookala? That would be the one. In terms of roles that no, you know, I mean, there were things that I wasn't sure about that other people did, but I felt like they were better at doing them. No, I don't have that. I mean, that's a Tom Hanks question, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this stack of scripts, which one do I throw away? No.
All right, thanks a lot, Charlie, come on up here again, man. You got another question? You can ask it. What you got?
My question was, how was it filming Rat Race with all these like amazing people and Smashing?
Well, you know, it was very, because it was all over the place. It was very disjointed. We were shooting you're in Vegas, you're in Alberta, you're doing all these different things, and it's all like everybody has so many individualized parts that are then all put together. So you don't have a real sense of the whole thing, but you do have a sense that it's madcap and manic. And I was a big fan of movies of that kind, like I can't think of the granddaddy of all those films. Never mind. But
That film, you guys know what he's talking about.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Nobody does. Okay. No, it wasn't right. Mad World. I don't know if anybody's old enough to have ever seen that picture. But that's kind of the progenitor of Rat Race, where you create a task and everybody goes out on the task, and then you follow them through it. Make a big, fun comedy movie. And so to be part of that was really cool for me. It was like part of my past. Thank you.
All right, so I got one for you. And then we'll go, but then maybe come up to the mic, because if you ask me what I'm about to ask right now, it's the same question. I'm going to be stunned.
I can't believe you showed up to the party wearing the same thing.
That's exactly right. So, weight loss journey.
Yeah.
Well known for the fact that at one point you probably lost 1/3 of your body weight, like triple digits.
Well, as I am now, I'm about 100 pounds less than I was at Jurassic Park.
So still, 100 pounds. Let's get all over the glass because that doesn't happen by accident.
Oh, it did for me.
It did for you?
Yeah, I woke up one morning and oh my God.
Just was laying there on the floor.
What a poo I had.
Yeah, why don't you tell everybody what process you went through? Because you know what, everybody wants to feel better about themselves. What did you do to make that happen?
There's everything you could possibly think of. Every diet, every enterprise, 12-step other things. So, I mean, it's been a lifelong thing, and what's weird is you then become famous for being giantly fat. And so when you're not, it's hard for people to figure out what to do with it. Because, you're much less easy to ridicule. Sorry.
It's the normal sized human being.
Not necessarily, but normaler, it's okay. But it was a long ride, and in every various spot, you'd be amazed at how many places where I thought I looked good. And how many places where I thought I didn't. And you wouldn't be able to tell one way or the other, It's all, a lot of it is mental and your own kind of perverse feeling that you're not good enough. Once you kind of begin to let that go, you allow yourself to get healthy. But it's not easy.
So if you could give the audience out here one piece of advice about that, where you're like, okay, I need to make the decision to get in better shape. What's the most important thing for you as you were on that journey?
Forget everything you've been told and learn to like yourself. The process of liking yourself will let you be kinder to yourself if you really do. It's a big test, because I thought I liked myself, and late at night I suddenly didn't like myself anymore. But there's no good way. There's only the way you do it. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. I think the problem is that society makes you feel some way about your physicality, and it shouldn't. We should accept people, whatever they're like physically. I mean, we've been forced now that we can't make jokes about people's ethnicity or about their sexuality. We got to get to physicality too, but then we won't have any jokes. And I wouldn't have had jobs. Never mind. It's okay.
All right, so hopefully it was not your question.
No,
I knew it wasn't your question, so you had a mind meld.
it was hard to follow though.
But I think you can follow it. One person can follow it. It's Charlie, second to you.
I'll take second.
All right.
So we all gathered here because we're all big fans of something. So what to you are you passionate about? What things are you a fan of that might surprise some of us to learn about you?
I'm a big Star Trek fan. I was a Trekkie before there were Trekkers, way back when. And I was working on Third Rock from the Sun with Shatner. And he was playing the big giant head on the dude. Yeah. And I told him one day that Star Trek had literally saved my life. That I stayed home to watch Star Trek, I think it was 11 or 12, my parents went out shopping. They let me stay home. They didn't come home. The police came to my door. They were in a head-on collision at 60 miles an hour. I would have been in the back seat without a seatbelt, and I probably would have been killed. They survived, and I told this story to Wayne Chatwin. Staying home to watch Seinfeld saved my life. And he said, yeah, that's nice, kid.
That was awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And we're all proud of that.
Wow, thank you.
All right, so I think there's a good follow-up question. So, from doing conventions to the convention scene, has there ever been a time for you, even though you're on the celeb side, you're like, oh man, that's cool. I'm at a show with that person. I gotta go get a picture with them. Anybody specific?
Well, you know, I was at a con, and my son is a giant fan of the series Daredevil. And so Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio were both at this con, and I got them together and got a picture with them to send to my son. And it was the first time that I was in that position, you know, getting a selfie so I could send it home to my son. And the other thing about cons that's fantastic is I had worked with James Tolkien, this guy who was in The Right Stuff and other things. He's a grand old actor, and you get to see people who you haven't seen in 30 years at the table across the way, and go over and make their acquaintance again, give them a hug and so on. There's a lot of nice things that happen in the convention scene. As far as who do I see that is like, you know, I think that what happens is you wind up kind of turning off your making people elevated or making people below you. Everybody's equal in the convention world. Anybody who comes to my table is equal.
100%. I absolutely appreciate that viewpoint. And that's something you guys to remember out there too. You walk up to one of these tables, hey, they're a human being just like you are, treated just like a human being. That's Wayne Knight wants you to treat them like.
That's right. Wayne Knight wants you to treat human beings like human beings.
That's right.
Damn it.
Where's our photographer Corey? Corey, if you are within the sound of my voice, I'll make sure you coming up here real quick. So we're going to be wrapping this up here real quick, and when we get done, I'm going to take a selfie with me, but then you all get to be in the picture as well, because the show photographer is going to stand up here. You guys can all crowd up real close, and we are all going to take a picture together. So
have to cut those lights.
Yeah. So before we do that, though, you talked about tables. What stuff do you have over at your table that you are most happy about having 8.5 by 11s? Things that you want people to go over there and make sure that you saw before the show's over.
Well, first of all, nobody knows that I was in a Marvel movie, but it wasn't of the MCU. It was The Punisher. The Punisher 2. I played Michael in The Punisher. And, you know, it's probably the only Marvel movie nobody knows about. I like that picture. I'm holding guns, I look Zero, it's good.
All right, well, good stuff. So does anybody have any more questions? We're going to room for 1, 2 more questions. This might be the only time in the history of history.
They're sick of me.
They're
ready to go. Let them go. Let these people go.
All right, so if that's the case, we're going to wrap this. Oh, there we go! There's one more question. All right, give this guy a round of applause. What's your name, my man?
Brandon.
All right, so everybody give a big round of applause for Brandon right now. Good job, Brandon! Not let's go, Brandon, but good job, Brandon.
I was over there earlier in the slide by Bobby Salkin. I mentioned Thor Rock this time was a very big show when I was a kid. And you mentioned some more people, John Lithgow.
Yes.
Some music you did?
Well, I did a children's album with John Lithgow. I did one of the songs on his children's album. I think we did Ink the Dink-a-Doo and then something else. And I've done, he did a book of poems about the election that I did one of the narrations of. And he sends me hand-drawn Christmas cards every year. And is just the nicest man who is a friend of mine, who stayed a friend of mine all these years. And he was wonderful to work with because his father was the head of a Shakespeare theater. And he knew how to be the captain of a ship. And he knew how to welcome people and get the most out of it. I really enjoyed that experience, and I really enjoyed him.
Thank you very much.
Good stuff. All right, so last question. What's your name? Michelle, make sure you have the best question that has ever been asked of Wayne right now. There is no pressure on you whatsoever. But ask the best question he's ever heard in his entire life. Ready and go.
Dirty Dancing.
Yes.
I apologize, and this is I got stuck in traffic.
You're the only one who's asked a question about Dirty Dancing.
Oh, well then I am on it. Yes. Funniest memory for you from filming, because you had some really great lines, and I loved you in Dirty Dancing.
Well, you know, I got this part. I'm in New York. I'm a young actor. We're shooting up in, Lake Nublar, North Carolina, and Virginia, and whatever. And I thought this was nobody expected this to be much of a movie, but it turned out to be the greatest thing ever. And I remember spending time with Jerry Orbach while he was doing the New York Times crossword puzzle in ink in a half an hour. And then the next scene I have to handle a chicken. So the funniest thing about Dirty Dancing to me was that they had a chicken wrangler. There's somebody specifically to handle the chicken. And they brought the chicken over to me and they said, now here's what you do with the chicken. Okay? And you grab it by its feet and you give it a quick spin. And I'm like, what? He says, now pick the chicken up, the chicken's like, and that's how you do it. And that's what we did. And then I'm like, here's your chicken. And first time and last time I worked with a chicken wrangler.
Thank you very much.
All right, you know what? I do think that was a great question. That was an awesome question. Okay, so Corey's right here. Wayne and I are going to stand up. We're going to get all you guys in there. So you guys can climb up here if you want. And then we're going to give a big round of applause.
You will. There we go. Oh my God, shut up! Hey Matt, you're hard to hear.
What's that?
You're hard to hear. I think your reverb's turned up too high. You're really muffled over there.
Here? Okay.
Yeah.
Let the sound guy. Just wanted to say thanks for a great panel, and I'll see you over at the photo ops.
Very good.